Thanks everybody for jumping on. I'm going to stop share here for a second. There she is. What's up, Tara? All right,
What's
you
up? I
guys.
made it.
And we got the black. We got the black on. Welcome everybody. We're beyond excited to share what I think is a foundational topic, a foundational form of marketing that is really essential for you building your brand, for you creating differentiation, for you creating value and your uniqueness online. This is really us taking a look at your online presence and making sure that is refined, that's optimized, and that really that it says three main things about you. That it says that you're professional, that you create success, and that you're likable. And in order to do that, though, we have to understand what's showing up for us when people search for us online and how is that resonating with our audience that's checking us out, that wants to know if we're the right fit for them. So, Tara, that's what we're covering today. What are your thoughts?
I think it's a super important topic. And one thing that I would also like to mention is we also want to make sure that you're not missing any opportunities. I can't tell you the number of times that I've heard from agents where, especially if they haven't updated their information after leaving a team or moving brokerages, where they've lost clients because they didn't update their information. So, all of these things will go into play today when we go through our online audits.
You guys, this stuff matters. And it's boring. Going through your online presence, boring. That's why we're in demand, because we do some of the boring stuff that you don't want to do. We do hundreds of these online audits, and we're going to mimic one of those online audits a little bit today of what it looks like when we go through and really analyze, are you showing up powerfully for the people that are searching for you? These past clients, these referrals, these leads, these people that have met you in some sort of setting and want to just vet you out and see if you're the right fit, because they're used to going online and researching and vetting everything else out in their life, from services to products. They're absolutely going to do the same thing for you. We're finding that 90% of them, 90% of people that reach out to you have vetted you online prior to reaching out to you, prior to communicating with you, responding to a communication, what have you. So that's really the name of the game today. We're going to dive into this. We're going to go 45 minutes, and then we're going to open it up to any sort of questions, comments, and we're going to go from there. Okay. All right, you guys, build a lead generating online presence. Again, I'm Aaron,
I'm
and
Tara.
there's Tara. I think you can see us both. And a little about myself. I was raised in this industry, raised in real estate. My mom was licensed as I was a young child for almost 10 years. And I ended up getting my real estate license right out of college. And at the same time, I was in the technology space, and I was a computer programmer, in essence, a web developer. And I combined those two worlds. And here I am 20 years later, still licensed, actually. I have my broker's license. I was a solo agent for a while, a team lead, part of a real estate brokerage, and handled a lot of their coaching, training, back office. I was a designated broker for a small period, which was, frankly, that was frightening to do that. So I have a lot of respect for
I can
those that
relate.
that manage a lot of agents. We had 250 agents at one point. But I've been working with agents for the last really 15 years. I've worked with thousands of agents, and I absolutely love it. Just helping them identify blind spots in their business, leveling up, achieving what they didn't think was possible. Tara and I work with a company called My Home, and My Home is a sister company of WFG National Title. And again, we just feel so fortunate to get to work with a lot of you on this session today. And of course, I practice what I preach, just like Tara does as well, and show up in a powerful way every day, because that's what you guys have to do every day, is continue to elevate your value proposition, continue to elevate your game to generate more business, to improve and create new relationships.
Yeah, and I'm Tara Meier. So I've been in the business too since about 2002, spent some time in the title world, transitioned to residential real estate through the REO business, actually, and got my license in Arizona in 2012, built a team. I also dipped my toe in that or in the brokerage office. I am also a broker in Arizona, but then transitioned over into prop tech and was a program manager for Zillow Offers, as well as another prop tech company called Orchard. And then have recently found myself back in the residential real estate space, this time helping agents with their technology initiatives as well as their marketing strategy. So I'm super stoked to be here. I really enjoy leveling people up. I'm also a CrossFit coach, not as much these days anymore, but I've been an athlete pretty much my entire life, and the getting to help people realize their full potential is what I absolutely love. So I'm super stoked to be here too.
Sweet. We're stoked to have you. So awesome, you guys. If you want to connect with one of us, though, we'll give you the opportunity to do that at the end, or you can just ask the person to invite you to this and they'll see if they can make it happen. So let's go ahead and set the stage. Let's get rocking and rolling. With everything, I like to check in with my mindset. Where am I at? What am I operating from? What is my frequency right now? Am I operating from a place of abundance, a place of growth, a place of gratitude? That's a growth mindset. That's where we can open ourselves to receive this information in a powerful way and take action on it. And that is in juxtaposition or to a fixed mindset, which is a mindset based on scarcity. I am constantly checking on my mindset every day, and I implore you to do the same, you guys. I mentioned at the onset of this, at the start of our session today, that 90% of our clients, prospects, referrals, leads are searching for you on Google. And this is what we found based on some of the studies that we've done. And we're part of a 12-person national technology group. We're the My Home nerds, if you will, these marketing technology directors. And we're constantly collaborating on what's working, what's not in the industry. And what we found is that 9 out of 10 people that find out about you, inevitably, they're searching for you on Google. And most of the time they're using Google. 93% of the time they use Google. And so Google really can be the definitive reason that they move forward with you or not. And as Tara mentioned earlier, opportunities, right? This is all about capitalizing on opportunities. If somebody's searching for us or searching for a real estate agent in an area that we serve, we want to be the opportunity. We want to be the person that's picked, right? We want to be the person they move forward with, as opposed to one of the other 5.3 real estate agents that they might know. And so our goal for you is to really optimize how you show up online. Show up powerfully, right? Tap into the core, authentic essence of who you are, the professionalism, the uniqueness that you bring to the table, right? Tap into some laws of psychology too, to tell a more powerful story, right? So that when people see your profiles, they don't just read information, they actually have an emotional response to what they're seeing, right? They see imagery, they see language in your bio, or they see imagery in your cover photo, your profile banners that causes them to feel like they know you at a deeper level, to feel like they can put themselves in that situation or scenario that you've shared through your imagery or your use of words.
And
And
one thing I want to add just right there with regards to your goal is going to be also clarity. Like you have to make it super clear as to what it is you do and where you do it, on top of obviously all of this stuff too.
absolutely. Yeah, what we're doing is we're helping people make the right decision. That's it, right? We just help them
Mhm.
make the right decision. That's all we're trying to figure out is how do I just make creating a good life is creating consistent good decisions for ourselves. And that's what they're looking to do is they're trying to figure out, are you still the right decision? If it's a past client, they're looking to go, is this agent still the right decision? I know that maybe my neighbor said that this agent was a good decision, but I'm going to vet them out for myself. And they start with information for you that's easily accessible. And that's, again, what shows up on Google. So this is about clarity, as Tara just mentioned. This is about professionalism, likability, right? There's a lot of buckets that we need to fill here, but this is all about differentiation and you being okay with being transparent with who you are, what you do, the value that you bring to the market. Okay. Because in the absence of differentiation, we become commoditized. I know I've said this on a previous session, but when you're commoditized, imagine a gas station, right? You don't really care if it's a Shell, if it's an Arco, it's a Chevron, AM, PM. You just want the closest one and you want the cheapest one, don't you? The one that's most easily accessible. right? You don't really have an affinity for a specific gas station necessarily. That's because gas stations are commoditized. And the last thing we want to do is be commoditized, okay? Because when you're commoditized, price becomes a negotiator. And I don't want you having to lose, lose the hard-earned money that you're worth. So we live in a time where visibility trumps ability in a lot of cases, especially in scenarios where somebody does not know what you're capable of. They don't know what your abilities really consist of. So now they're just looking online to see, are they visible? Because that visibility directly corresponds to your ability to be successful, your ability to market, your ability to guide that person through a transaction, because perception equals reality, right? And unfortunately, the internet is full of a lot of different stuff, but it's also a great place for people to research, for people to vet you out. And we talked about the fact that adults are using search to find information, to vet you out. But what is this all about? What's this online reputation all about? This is about somebody's ability to figure out if you're the right fit for them. Okay. And they do that by gathering information, by looking at reviews, by looking at your profiles, your quality of your imagery, the stories that you share. Are you appealing to them on a level beyond just on a logical level, but on an emotional level? And again, are you somebody that's professional? Are you somebody that they could see themselves actually having some fun with, potentially, like enjoying working with? I like to show the perception pyramid. The reason for this is really interesting, you guys. At the bottom of this pyramid, right? This is the perception pyramid that really shows you where influence is created. At the bottom of this pyramid, you'll see what we think, right? With the least amount of influence. And as we go up the pyramid, the amount of influence that you create is increased. So what we think has the least amount of influence, what we say has more influence than that. What we do increases in influence, and then how we are perceived has more influence than anything else. Anything that we do, anything that we say, how we are perceived. Perception is reality, and perception is very influential. And the CEO of Better Homes and Garden was quoted as saying, the more people know you, perceived or actual, the more they'll trust you. The more they trust you, the greater likelihood they'll work with you. Okay. And you guys, so perception is reality. Are we doing enough online right now? And I'm not just talking about social media posts. I'm not talking about how's your Instagram Reels game? Are you on TikTok? It's not about that. It's about, are you showing up meaningfully in the places that matter to start foundationally? And then social media, I would say, is secondary to that.
Yeah, those authority websites that real estate agents are so lucky to have, things like realtor.com, homes.com, any of those that they can, or Nextdoor, those websites all provide a window into how professional you are and whether or not you're taking advantage of the tools that are available to you as a real estate agent to show up consistently across the web.
Yeah. Because transparency is the gateway to trust. The more transparency that exists, the more people feel like they have a more well-rounded perspective of who you are. They're more likely to trust you. That's why we also want to infuse, when we talk to agents about their social media strategy, we talk to them about, let's not just go all in with real estate. Let's talk about what we like to do outside of real estate. Let's share some personal aspects of who we are. Like, what makes us excited? What makes us happy? What makes us sad? What do we like to do? What are some of our hobbies and interests outside of real estate? Because truly that gives somebody the full perspective or a larger perspective on who we are, which causes them to feel like there was more transparency created, which will lead to trust. And again, this is all about them trying to figure out your behavior, right? Behavior prediction. If you just think about human beings in general, we're these pattern recognition engines. We're trying to recognize, we're trying to make sense of all these different things that we're smelling and tasting and hearing and touching and thinking with all of our senses. And we're trying to really manage that and take action as a result of it. And so this is you helping them take action as a result of what you're sharing for yourself. So what you're going to want to do, you guys, and I would say if you want to follow along and do this right now, you're by all means, please do. You can pull this zoom window to the side and search for yourself on Google. I'd be curious to find out, when was the last time you searched for yourself on Google? Okay. So again, if you want to follow along, pull the screen, pull the zoom window to the side and pop open your browser, go to google.com and type your first and last name in and hit enter. What shows up? And if it's not you, maybe your name's John Smith and there's 10 million John Smiths in the United States, and there's a famous one, and there's an athlete, and there's this and that. And so you're nowhere to be found. Then add the word realtor after your name, because that's the top added keyword. When someone's trying to search for you and they don't find you, they're going to add the word keyword after your first and last name. Or they may add the city in which you may be helping them in, or they may add real estate after your name. Okay. So what shows up? And what do they think if nothing shows up? Or if, especially in this situation, Tara, I don't even know if I shared this with you. I did one of these online audits with an agent, and this was a high producing agent. She closed probably between 6 and 10 homes a month. And her top result was ripoffreport.com. Ripoffreport.com. Yeah. So I looked at her and I said, actually, her name was Tara. I said, it wasn't you though. I said, Tara, how do you have any business? But imagine if this wasn't your top result on Google, how much business you'd have, right? How much more business you'd have. How many opportunities have you lost because of this negative result? So that's just one really strong reason to make sure that we know exactly what shows up for us when people search for us. Anyway, let me just finish that story. The ripoff report, it was actually written because her ex-husband was a bad dude and somebody was calling out her ex-husband. And at the very end of this report mentioned her name.
Eek.
And the thing is, since ripoffreport.com has high domain authority with Google, in other words, Google sees a lot of value in that domain name.
Showing up at the top.
It showed up right at the top. And that's why for you, it's very likely that your top results on Google will be LinkedIn, Realtor.com, probably your own website. Hopefully, your website should be one of your top 5 results. If it's not, then we definitely need to chat. Your brokerage website, so your profile on your brokerage website, right? These are going to be those top results. Zillow's probably going to show up somewhere up there. And what I would say for you with Zillow is you don't want it to be one of your top results unless you are a Zillow Flex agent, part of the Premier, or you're a Premier agent, part of the Flex program, or you're doing their new showcase opportunity. But if you're not paying Zillow any money, let's see if we can push Zillow down the search results by improving these other profiles. Here's another example, actually, of an agent. I want to share this with you for a second. This agent here, you guys, this was his second result on Google. 45 years in business. And this website was showing that he's closed 2 transactions in 45 years, right? So understanding some of these websites, homes.com does it. Yep. Zillow does it. They'll try to scrub your transactions from the MLS or other sources and display them. And to somebody that lands on one of these profiles, they don't know that it's inaccurate. So for me, if I was considering engaging with Dan, I landed on this profile and I saw that he closed 2 transactions in 45 years. I wouldn't want to be his third. Somebody asked, should you search incognito? Should you search your name using incognito browser? You definitely can. Yeah, your Google search results will be personalized to you. So you could log out of Google and do that search. You could use a browser you don't typically use. You could use incognito mode as well. So play around with kind of some different options there. Again, you just want to get the full answer, full perspective and picture of what's showing up when we do that search. Okay.
So on those websites, the one like the home light that you just showed, when they are showing incorrect information. Do you recommend to go in, claim your profile, ensure, like maybe touch base with the customer service department if you can to make sure that they're pulling in all of the appropriate information?
I do.
Okay.
Absolutely. Yep. Yeah. You guys, and it's worth spending the time to make that happen. Find
Okay.
out what their support email address is, or if there's a support form or a phone number you can call. And typically it's support at homes.com, support at realtor.com, support at wherever, Zillow, right? Reach out to them, allocate that time, prioritize it, because this is telling a story about you. And in this case, the story is not an accurate story. So we're missing opportunities because of this.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's likely probably because they're only pulling in one MLS. At least that's the experience that I've had. So just make sure that they're pulling in all of the MLSs that you've done deals in.
Okay. You guys, does anybody want to volunteer for me to pull up their online presence? I know that can be a little scary on a webinar like this, but
It'll be good.
do we have any volunteers? If you do, go ahead and just type right into chat. All right.
David
David
Giambruno.
Giambruno, my boy. What's up? All right, so here we go. So here's what I'm going to do, you guys. I'm going to share my screen. Let's check out David. Now, here's what we've got. Right now, David's in the San Jose area, Los Gatos, to be exact, but I probably mispronounced that. You have to be from there to pronounce that correctly. So here's the deal. Since I'm out of area, right? Since I'm not in his immediate area, I'm actually not even seeing David's Google business profile. And I know he has one. And that Google business profile would show up on the right-hand side. But if you look at the results here, you guys, I'm seeing number one is David's LinkedIn. Number two, his profile on the KW Bay Area Estate, so his brokerage website. Number three, Zillow. So a couple things here. One is David has a unique name. So he has that working to his advantage. Okay. If you've got a common name, you've got some competition, right? And you're going to have to work a little harder to get yourself to show up above that competition, right? I think I've got an MMA fighter, a firefighter, and an attorney that have the same name as me that I'm in competition with. But you're in competition with other people that share your same name that are in your same area. Now, keep in mind, Google will return results based on location. Okay, based on location. So if somebody's searching for you in your area, it's very likely you're going to be the person that shows up, even if there's other people with the same name as you in other parts of the country. Now, again, David has a unique name. That's a benefit to him. His LinkedIn is showing up first, so we're going to pop that open. Let's take a look at your profile on your brokerage website. We'll look at your Zillow profile. I see these are David, obviously. Handsome devil in the blue suit. This does not look like David, but this is someone that shares his name. Here's the thing. It's pretty clear to me, if I had never met David before, that this person is the David I'm looking for. But let's say that this guy right here had one of these profiles, or a couple of these photos were this guy versus the actual real David that we're searching for today. You guys, that would be confusing. And we're trying to create clarity here. So that's why we have to absolutely own the search results for ourselves. Okay, so I'm just going to cover the top three for sake of time here. Number one, LinkedIn. Number two, KW. Number three, Zillow. And then actually, there probably is a Google business profile for David. I'm going to go ahead and just type in a few more things that'll get his Google business profile to show up. Usually, if you add a location after the name, the Google business profile shows up. And for those of you that aren't familiar with this profile, this, in my opinion, is one of your most important online profiles, if not your most important online profile. The reason for that is it's the first thing people see when they search for you on Google. It is your first impression profile. And oftentimes it's the first time they're actually seeing your face because you have the opportunity to add a cover photo here. So if you do not have a Google business profile, get one set up. Tara, would you mind typing the URL for that into chat so everybody has that URL? So it's going to be business.google.com, and you'll just go through the process of getting that set up. Okay. That's going to give you two profiles, one on Google search and one on Google Maps. Here's what I think is fascinating about this profile. Not only is it the first thing that shows up when people search for you, but more likely than not, it's showing up when people are not searching for you. Let me repeat that. 2/3 of the time that this profile shows up on Google, I've found that it's not when somebody is searching for you specifically. It's when they're searching for a top realtor in San Jose or best luxury realtor in Scottsdale. Okay. Or realtor near me, and maybe they're in Irvine. Okay. So a couple quick observations here. And then Tara, feel free to jump at any point as well. Nailed it with the headshot here available. So he's got his team Google business profile. So he's teamed up with a gentleman here named Mark. They've got 42 Google reviews. Great job there. 4.9 stars. That's good stuff. Our goal is to get to 20 Google reviews. How do we get 20? If you have none, or you're just starting, or you've got a couple, you guys go to and check out your Zillow, your Realtor.com, see who's reviewed you there, copy and paste those reviews to the people that gave you the review, and ask for them to post them to your Google business profile. Provide them the link where they can go directly to just copy and paste that review.
Yep. And put in some kind of automatic request, whether that be like an auto email when something closes, like a congratulations. Just put something in place. So in case you miss it, that request is going out.
Okay. I like that David has added some service options here. So you can get to that through your Google Business Profile dashboard. Just right under Edit Profile, you can add service options. He's got an address here. And by the way, from a geographical standpoint, his Google Business Profile is going to be most relevant within a 10-mile radius of his actual address. Okay. So you do have the option to add what are called service areas. Basically, you're telling Google that, hey, not only do I have a business address or an office address, but I also work in a specific service area. And you can add communities, cities, zips, even counties as your service areas. But remember, the further you spread yourself out, the more diluted you make yourself in the eyes of Google. And Google is looking for relevant service providers to return to people that are searching for real estate agents near you or in areas that you work.
We have a couple of questions. Do you want to address those? They've got their hands up. I can go ahead and allow them to
Please.
ask. All right. Dee Dee, did you have a question?
It looks like there was a question. If you're on a team, should each agent have a Google business profile or just the team? Each agent. Because what's happening is again, loose numbers, loose stats here, but we found that roughly 9 out of 10 times or 90% of the time, people are searching for you and not the team name, or the team member and not the team name. Okay. If you've got a question, you guys go ahead and just type it right into the Q&A section. That's going to be the best way to handle that. Okay. Awesome. Appreciate that though. Thank you so much for the feedback and the questions, you guys. It makes it more fun, and we all learn better when there's that engagement. Another thing that David is doing well here is, well, let me just touch on this, you guys. David and Mark could have each had their own Google business profiles, but they decided to combine the two. And I would recommend that. They've included their full names in the name of the business. And that works when there's usually two people. If there's more than two, now the name of the business would get really long. You'd have to include all three people's names. Your Google business profile should start off with your first and last name. That's the SEO aspect of this profile. Okay. We want to guarantee that your profile shows up when someone's searching for you, first and foremost. Okay. You want to own that real estate on Google for a search for you. And second to that, you want to make sure you show up when people are searching for a real estate agent in an area that you work. So again, if you're part of a team, create your own Google business profile. If you're the team lead, it's up in the air on whether you want to just have the team Google business profile as yours, or you want to create a separate team Google business profile and then have your own personal Google business profile. You can have more than one. Yeah, you can have multiple. The challenge, though, with managing multiple profiles is same challenge with managing anything that we have multiple of, is just a lot more work. So if you closed the transaction and you had 2 Google business profiles, where's that buyer or seller going to submit that review? On your personal or on your team, right? So you really want to just build up one main profile. Okay. Awesome. Question: what if someone else with the same names LinkedIn populates in the image line instead of yours? Can you do anything to make sure it's you? Yes, Chris, and that's interesting. That shouldn't be happening, but yeah, you can make your LinkedIn more relevant by infusing your name into your LinkedIn, by updating your LinkedIn, by adding content to your LinkedIn on a regular basis. That will signal to Google that profile is more relevant for the search for your name than the other person's profile. Okay, so you just give it more attention. That's the quick solution for you. All right, let's keep moving forward here. Just for sake of time, I just wanted to spotlight a few other things that David's doing really well with the Google Business Profile. He's posting updates, and it looks like they're pretty consistent. Looks like every other day or so, multiple a week. I don't know if most of you realize that you actually have your own news feed connected to your Google Business Profile right on google.com. Okay, right on google.com. Michelle Lee asked, you'll find a lot of Michelle Lees. Yeah, so Michelle Lee, actually, I went to college with a Michelle Lee. Michelle, so you've got a name that's used by others. It's a great name, right? But here's the thing. For you, know that if somebody searches for Michelle Lee, they're not going to find you. They're going to add the word realtor. They're going to add a city name in. They're going to add your brokerage right after your name to pull you up. So just go all in on your profiles. Make sure you've infused your name into your bios. And you guys, at the end of the day, if we've got a really common name and we're struggling to even get our profiles to show up at the top of Google when somebody searches for us, even if they add the word realtor or real estate or a city, there still are options. You could actually, using Google Ads, you can buy the keywords of your first and last name and advertise yourself on Google, right? So that if somebody searches for Michelle Lee, they're going to see you show up at the top because you're paying for that. But it's absolutely worth it, you guys. So again, there's always an option. Okay. All right, let's keep moving forward. Great job here. The one thing I just want to spotlight here for a second is that if I click on David's Google reviews, check this out. Of the 42 reviews, look what Google is showing us underneath. It's saying people often mention team, home, knows, questions, realtor, market, needs, landscaping, vendors, and strategy. So 18 of the 42 reviews mention the word team. 17 mention the word home, 7 the word knows, and so on and so forth. Now, first off, reviews are social proof. Okay. And as herd animals, as pack animals, humans inherently trust each other to make the right decision. Okay, that's number one. And so we're like a fly to a light when it comes to, or a moth to a light when it comes to reviews and trying to figure out if somebody's the right fit for us. We're going to go and read the reviews. We want to see the experiences other people had with that service provider, that product, or what have you. When was the last time you went to Amazon.com, pulled up the Amazon app, purchased a product without looking at the reviews? Right? We want to see what the experience was like for other people and that same product or that same service. Number one. Number two is Google holds the words that are used in the reviews as being an incredibly relevant factor in determining who you are. So for David, imagine if somebody searched for team home San Jose. He's probably going to show up, or this is going to be a relevant result. Okay, but does that make sense? Not really, because nobody's going to search that. Now, what I would say for you, this is an advanced thing though. If you're able to get people to review you on Google and you're able to coach them a little bit, ask them if they wouldn't mind infusing the review with a few keywords. I know that's a big ask. You may have to bribe them with a gift card, okay, or Starbucks or something, but ask them if they wouldn't mind adding the word best realtor San Jose, luxury agent Scottsdale, okay, in their review. If they do that, now you're going to start to rank for those keywords on Google. And that is a really good thing, because we know that NAR study says that 60% of home sellers choose an agent that either helped them buy that home or that they found from a referral. That leaves roughly 40% of homeowners trying to figure out who the agent is that's going to be able to help us. They're turning to Google for that insight, and they're doing searches like, well, honey, we live in Phoenix. Who's the best realtor in Phoenix? Let's go ahead and type that into Google. You want to show up.
So we have a couple of questions or statements about people who have reviews on other sites and wondering, is that enough, or do they need to build up their Google business page? And I would say that yes, you obviously want to start directing people to your Google business page. That being said, Google does take into consideration reviews across the web. Like, you will start to see, once Google links your page, your Google business page, with your other sites, you'll start to see those reviews linked to your page. And I'm not sure if Mark has any linked down at the bottom. Yes, he does. See, like, you could, if you scroll down there for a second, Aaron,
Yep. Sorry.
you
Get back over there.
yeah, you can see that his Facebook and Zillow reviews are pulling over. You just passed
Did I
it.
scroll right past them? Oh, here you
Yeah,
go.
but
Yep.
that's okay. Yeah, but so it does take that into consideration, but it does not transfer those over. Like, you won't get the stars at the top of your Google business page like you're probably hoping you would. Now, you can go back and ask your past clients to review you on your Google business page. In fact, that's something that we always suggest. It's a great opportunity for you to touch base and let them know what you're doing with your business, check in on them, see how they're doing. And you can mention, hey, I really liked this review that you left for me on Zillow. Would you mind if I highlighted it on my Google business page? And then you can, like Aaron said earlier, copy that review, send it to him in an email with a direct link to your Google business page. I would say, just to continue on with that, is that you don't want to bulk request reviews to your Google business page, because Google will see that as an anomaly and very well may block some of those reviews from actually seeing the light of day. So just a good practice would be one a day. Don't need to do 100 at once.
Yeah, good call. The last thing I wanted to share with you guys, we're going to move on, is when you're logged into your Google business profile, here's what it looks like. All right, so when you set it up and you're logged in, here's what it looks like. And for whatever reason, why is that showing up down there? Yeah. So anyway, mine typically shows up at the top, just like this. You're going to have a dashboard, kind of a control panel, that allows you to edit your profile, read and respond to your reviews, enable messaging, enable calls, add Q&A, add a booking link, which would be like a Calendly link, add products. Those would be homes that you have listings that you've listed or that you've sold, right? Add your services, all those services you provide, which I know there are many. List those out. And then if we expand this menu, we can add updates here. That's that news feed. And then we can ask for reviews. And you guys, when I click on ask for review, here's that review link. This link is magical. Make this a keyboard shortcut on your iPhone and on your Mac. Text this to yourself, email this to yourself, have it handy, because when you share this with somebody and they click on that, they're going to see a screen that looks just like this, where they can leave you 5 stars and share their experience with you. Name of the game here, you guys, is how much time and effort can we invest in collecting reviews, because those reviews directly correlate to commissions. There's a high ROI attached to review generation. Okay. Awesome. All right, you guys, let's move on. David, thank you for volunteering, and thank you to all the everybody else that threw their name out there as well to volunteer to go through that. We've got a few more slides that we want to share here, and then we'll wrap it up. You guys, a few other things with regards to Google. Okay. Almost 50% of people surveyed by ComScore said they found something in an online search that caused them to decide not to do business with somebody. Okay. Not to do business. And why is that? Right? Because humans are, I'm going to generally speak here, are insecure beings. And we're trying to figure out if something is the right fit, something makes sense. And if it doesn't, or if it's not super clear, if it's a red flag in any way, shape, or form, we're going to move on. There's too many other options out there. So here's just a quick summary of what we've covered. Okay. We know that people are searching for you on Google. Perception equals reality. Transparency leads to trust, and you never know when someone disqualifies you. You guys, so what I'd encourage you to do is identify that one thing. Okay. Identify that one thing that resonates with you. Identify that one thing that I've covered that you can cover today that you can integrate and implement into your business right away. Okay. Right away. Because again, we want to make sure you're not losing opportunities. So we covered the online presence, we covered Google, we covered the Google business profile. We did that live. I really enjoyed that. You guys, one thing to keep in mind too, the Google business profile on mobile, it shows up above the search results. And over 50% of searches that are done on Google are done using a mobile device. And that's where this profile becomes even more powerful. Okay. So we're going to keep moving forward. We talked about reviews. We want to get at least a 4-star rating. If it's under 4-star, then we've got some issues. Okay. I don't think any of you will have that issue. This stat here talks about red flags. And I just wanted to share this with you another time, just to reinforce that we risk losing almost 25% of our opportunities online when there's one negative result on Google. And that doubles for 2 and it triples for 3. What is a negative result? A negative result would be something that's outdated, something that's inaccurate, something that doesn't reflect on you being professional, you creating success, and you being somebody that they
Open
would
for
like
business.
to work with. Open for business would be a great one. Rip off report, I would say 100%, 99% unlikely to capitalize on that opportunity. Okay, I'm going to keep cruising through this. You guys, what else makes up your online reputation, your online presence? All of these profiles. And to varying degrees of importance. But remember at the onset of our session today, we talked about the power of the story, whether visual, through imagery, or written. And that is such an important piece to this as well. How recently was your headshot taken, and how consistent are you with that headshot across all your profiles online? What about your bio? When was the last time you updated your bio to really reflect the uniqueness that your services provide and the success that you create and who you are outside of business? When was the last time you worked on that and updated that? And is that shared across all your profiles? Okay. If it's not, you guys, take a couple hours and knock this stuff out. Do it sooner than later. Okay. Absolutely do it sooner than later. Absolutely critical that you guys get this stuff knocked out. The top review destinations for you: number 1, Google Business. I would say number 2 would be Yelp. Number 3, Facebook, maybe Realtor.com. If you're a Zillow Premier Agent or part of the Flex program, Zillow is going to be one of your top 3s as well. But I would invest into Google. Go all in on Google. We talked about brand consistency, being just consistent with your information online. Again, we're trying to create clarity. We're trying to evoke a sense of stability and professionalism in the eye of the person that's searching for you. Make sure that your name, address, phone number, links, everything is accurate, up to date. Everything works. All the information on these profiles is up to date and accurate. Okay. These things matter. Your website. Do we have a cookie cutter templatized website, or have we invested into our business and gotten a little more of a custom website that really reflects who we are as a professional? It's more transparent with the information it shares. It reflects, again, our personalities. What else? Our title. I know a lot of us play around with the title we use. This matters. So be consistent with the title, whether it's realtor, real estate professional, real estate advisor, consultant, neighborhood specialist, property advisor, associate broker, associate. Be consistent across the board with that. We're not just trying to be consistent with Google, but also with the people that are searching for us. Okay. Somebody mentioned WhatsApp connected to Google Business Profile. Sure. If you use WhatsApp and that's a good communication device for you and you're checking that, absolutely connect WhatsApp to Google. Absolutely. You can connect WhatsApp to Facebook as well, obviously, since it's owned by Meta. We've got another question. Somebody's closed over 450 transactions, don't have much of an online presence other than Zillow. What should I do? I have just over 125 reviews on Zillow, and that's all I have. You guys, actually, you know what? I'm going to give you guys two great takeaways, actually tangible things that you can have. Number one is this. I call it the Zillow to Google review strategy. I know that most of us on this session today have more reviews on Zillow than we do on Google. Let's change that. This is one idea, one strategy you can use to change that. And I'm happy to share this with everybody. What we can do is we'll follow up with this in an email. I've got another thing we'll share with you as well. But this basically just says, it's got a subject line here. Gift card for your help, just to get somebody to open the email. Hi, client name. I need your help. I appreciated the kind words you shared on Zillow so much that I'd like to feature your review on Google. Please copy your review below and paste it to the following link along with 5 stars, please. And now this is where you'll copy and paste and include their review from Zillow. And then you're going to include your Google Business review link. Thank you so much. And then put your name, and you can also, and then this is just a tip for you. This wouldn't be part of the email. A couple tips here. Number one is look at the language. The language is very complimentary. I appreciated the kind words. Or you could say, you know what? I enjoyed working with you so much that I would like to feature your review on Google. I'd like to feature you on Google. The other thing is, if you really want to impress somebody, impress upon them that this is something valuable to you, send them a video message. You could do it through Messenger. You could do it through, we like to use tools like Bomb, but send them a video message. They're less likely to reject you if they see you on video than they are just a message or an email. But either way, you guys, include a review strategy into your business starting today. That should look something like you reaching out to one person every day with a script, copy and paste, email, text message, whatever you use, whether it's email or text, asking one person a day, and do that until you've asked everybody you can think of, everybody that knows you in a professional capacity. Okay. Colleagues, past clients, people you're currently working with, colleagues in other industries that can vouch for your level of professionalism, how much integrity you have, the way you communicate, you guys. These can all be beneficial to you in proving to other people what it's like to engage with you. Okay. And here's what I would say with Zillow. Here's a little tip. If you've got a bunch of Zillow reviews, what I would do is I would go through and create an Excel spreadsheet or a Google sheet, copy and paste all those reviews into that spreadsheet. So I'd create a column reviews. I'd create a column name. I'd create a column phone number, email address. I'd create a column, have I requested for them to, take this review, copy it, and paste it to Google. Create a spreadsheet so you can track who you're asking, right? So you can go through and make sure all those Zillow reviews get over to Google. Okay, awesome, you guys. As we look to conclude here, again, we talked about profile photo, background, cover photo, bio, just from a consistency standpoint. You guys, in really telling a story through imagery, while these are stock photos, they tell a story. And when I land on your Realtor.com or your Facebook business page or your website or your LinkedIn, those all have images at the top. whether it's a background or a background photo or a cover photo, they use different language, but it's all the same thing. It's that first image, that first visual that we see when we land on our profile. What is the story that your background photo is telling about what it might be like to work with you? And if you can actually get a shot like this taken, a behind the scenes shot, something of you in action, you can fast track people figuring out what it might be like to work with you. They can see it right in the image. They go, wow, this is what it might be like to work with Shelley. Okay. You're fast tracking that trust building process. All right, you guys, we are going to, we're going to conclude for today's session. We've got actually one more thing. This is a really cool guide. Tara, I don't know if you have yours open right now. I can pop it open. You know, here's what I'll do. I'll pop it open right now. This is a checklist, you guys, that you're going to have access to. We're going to send this out to you because you jumped onto today's session. For those that just jumped off, so we're going to share this with you. Can everybody see this online presence worksheet?
Yes.
Sweet. Okay, so this is going to take you through a lot of that process that I just covered, right? It's going to share a lot of this information, talks about creating clarity, being consistent with your overall online presence. It goes through and shows you step by step how to audit your online presence. So from your, pardon the scrolling here, your Google business profile to your LinkedIn, to your Facebook business page, to Instagram and elsewhere. Okay. Home search portals, etc. You guys, we're going to send that out to you via email because you jumped on and invested in your business today. And Tara, would you mind posting the link to our webinar page to chat? You guys, make sure you've RSVP'd to our next session next month. We're going to be covering another great topic, and I want to make sure you guys get access to that. If anybody has any additional questions, feel free to reach out to us after this session, and make sure that you jump into our next session. We're going to cover ChatGPT and AI, what's new, what's working for agents. That's on Tuesday, May 21st. And then we're going to continue again with our monthly webinar series every month with 5 steps to video mastery and real estate website strategy. So RSVP, you guys, thanks for investing in your business. And that's all we got.
Yep. Nice job. Thanks all.
Okay. We'll see you soon. Bye, everybody.